Hello everyone, welcome back to Stress Factory Series Part 3. There won't be any more than 3 parts because no one loves a series of more than 3 parts. We're brought to you today by myself, Jay DeSherry, and Mobo, and our goal is to what? Fix you. Okay, so remember, we've got a situation in stress fracture development where you showed up with imbalances in your way to generate force, control mechanical work, power, and also range of motion, right? Something was out of whack in the way that you move, which caused you to fall apart and break down. So we're going to basically fix these today by ensuring that you show up with a plan to prepare your body for the sport you love, right? The sport that you love puts a lot of load in your body over and over and over again, every single stride, right? And I want to make sure that we have a plan in place to try and make you as robust as possible. And I want to make this clear. This is your job, okay? If you want to show up ready to compete every day, it's your job to make sure that you are ready to compete every day. It's not your massage therapist's job. Yes, nutrition is important, but we have to look at a holistic approach to training, and this is actually part of your holistic approach to training. So, today we're going to break things up into 2 categories: instability problems and shock problems, just like we've talked about. Let's go ahead and talk about shock problem. I want to help you be more resilient with dealing with shock and impact. So I want to think about taking your tiny M&Ms and turning them into what? Bigger M&Ms. Okay, so if I improve the body's ability to withstand shock, right, we can actually improve the cortical thickness and cortical strength of the bones so it can deal with more loads before breaking. So how do we do this? Well, a lot of you will say, I'm a running athlete. As I run around, right, okay, I do a bunch of impact load to my body, which actually helps me build strong, resilient bones. Well, let's actually show you some research that's pretty interesting. The research out there shows that if you actually do want to increase the strength of your bone, you need to be on contact with the ground for a short period of time. So here's my best attempt here. Here's my stopwatch, and I'm going to click this, go, stop. That's a little slow, about 54. Let's try that again. All right. 0.35. 0.26. 0.37, 0.35. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is when you're running, most of your training paces, you're going to be in the ground for about a third of a second, okay? A third of a second when you're running is actually a very long time on ground. In fact, it's so long, it's not basically long enough to give you a strong impulse. When we look at how we improve bone health, we need your ground contact time to be basically about 0.1 seconds or less. This is 0.09. So what we have to do is to teach your body to basically deal with loads very, very, very quickly, okay? So how do we do this? Well, we do jumps. But here's the reality. A lot of people want to make stuff look cool for Instagram, so they do box jumps, okay, up on very big boxes. If you have a big box, yes, I know it looks cool in your picture from your gym, but the reality is to jump up high, you have to spend a long time on ground to get up on top of the box. Okay, what we want to do is, again, train our bodies to move quickly. So I want you to have a low box. I'm looking for a box about knee height or lower, because the key thing is you're going to jump up. You can basically chew a bite of your burrito here, hang out, sing a verse of your favorite song. But when you come down, I want you to push down so hard and so explosively that you come right back up off the ground again. The cue I use with my athletes is when you're up here, relax. You're landing nice and soft bent, so Lego legs don't bend, but you're going to be nice, softly bent. When you come down, I want you to imagine the ground is actually glass, and I want you to break the glass even before you hit the ground, okay? So that's going to get you to jump up very explosively and quickly, because again, I need you off the ground in 0.1 seconds or less, okay? Now, that requires a lot of effort, so it's important to give yourself rest when you need to. If you look at dosage, how many am I looking for? I'm looking for about 20 to 40 jumps done about 3 to 4 days per week. Okay, so here's the thing. After 40 jumps, we don't see much of an improvement in actual bone cortical thickness and strength. So if you want to do more jumps for heart rate, that's fine. That's for a different purpose. But if we talk about building strong, resilient bones, your 40 jumps should take you probably about 3 minutes tops to do. Putting in a few times a day, a few times per week is excellent for youth and strong bones, and it's helpful for our older folks as well to make sure we keep bone health paramount. So to improve our what? To improve our shock problem with bone, we're going to talk about jumping. We're looking for 20 to 40 jumps. Closer to 40 is better, okay? Done 3 or 4 days a week. Again, your time on ground needs to be very, very, very short, about 0.1 second or less. So explosive is the key. These are not for your heart rate at all. This is for explosive bone development. Okay, now let's move on to issue number 2, instability problem. So when we look at instability, we are basically saying that as you run, right, as you come forward, you are so wobbly and unstable that you actually cause excessive what? Yanking on bones, right? Because those bones and those muscles and tendons yank on the bones, yank on the bones. When they yank on your bones, they pull hard. They actually, remember, crack the candy coating off my M&M. I already blew all my M&Ms in my bag. Sorry, they're all dead. Okay, so, but the idea here is you showed up so unstable, you broke a bone. This is pretty bad, right? So I want to improve your ability to steer your parts straight, okay? You're not plastic Lego people. You are real people. So we have lots of tools and resources I put out there. I put out a book called Running Rewired, okay, which allows you to see a bunch of precision type workouts. But let's go through some simple things here, right? We do things like what? Bird dogs, okay, where we do like core things to build a strong, resilient core to make sure I can keep my torso and lower body stable. We do things like what? Our single leg deadlifts or our tippy birds, right, to improve our hip stability and hip steering, okay? And then we do things like train single leg balance. Hopefully you're doing things like training on a Mobo board, okay, which targets foot and ankle stability. And I made a little tiny Lego size Mobo board here, right? But we're trying to target intrinsic strength inside the feet. If you focus on training proper core stability, proper hip stability, and proper foot and ankle control, guess what you do? You show up to align with a more stable, resilient body. This stuff doesn't take long. I'm looking for about 10 to 15 minutes a week, right? If you want to hit 20, that's even better, but it's short, okay? It's just basically intentful, and the idea is we're trying to make sure that you fall over less than these little Lego people do. So I hope it's been fun. Again, the key thing is if you want to prevent stress fractures, show up ready, and I hope we propose some info to help you hit your goals. Thanks a lot, gang.